Hi, I'm Patrick with more soap previews for those who just can't wait. The traumatised Masood family is about to be swamped by a monsoon wedding drama so torrential it's hard to know how they'll recover. It begins with Saeed and Christian's stag do, which Danny crashes. Saeed can't bear the atmosphere and slips out, but Danny follows. Saeed pushes him away as he tries to kiss him, but when he provokes him, Saeed thumps him. Full of guilt, Saeed tells Christian he can't marry him and confesses his money woes and his deceit with Danny. But amazingly, Christian still wants to marry. Saeed quells his doubts and finally arrives at the ceremony, but just as they're joined in civil partnership, bailiffs turn up demanding 12 grand. Zainab furiously confronts Tamwa, assuming it's his fault, while Christian wakes up to the truth and goes in search of Saeed, but he's disappeared. Will he find him? Will Zainab learn that Saeed is behind Arji Barji's mess? And will Masood discover Zainab has emptied the trust fund? Elsewhere, Denise rewards Fatboy when he defends her against some yobs by taking him upstairs. And later in the week, she invites him back for seconds. Next, we're in Weatherfield. Toxic Tracy is back to her worst, using her pregnancy as a wedge to drive apart Steve and Michelle. She has no interest in Ryan, but when Steve offers her money to have a termination, she turns on the waterworks and informs an enraged Ryan. He tells Michelle they're having the baby whatever she thinks, and he tries to persuade Tracy to move to Glasgow for a quiet life. But Steve derails that with a shock suggestion. Why don't Tracy and Ryan move in with him and Michelle? That's a recipe for domestic carnage. Steve suspects Tracy's up to something cunning, so plays her at her own game. He tells Michelle they're finished in front of Tracy to see a reaction. Trouble is, Michelle isn't in on it. Audrey returns from a cruise without Lewis, who's disappeared on the Eurostar. So Audrey does a TV appeal, and soon a stranger arrives with info. Penny tells him that Lewis once wooed her and did a runner after conning her out of thousands, but she spotted Hugh on the Eurostar. When Lewis eventually shows up, he begs Audrey to forgive him, but she's not silly enough to settle his 10 grand debt, or is she? Last, we head to Emmerdale. It's billed as 2 weddings, 2 births and a death, as Emmerdale celebrates its 40th anniversary with an hour-long live episode on Wednesday. At the heart of all the drama is Chaz, who tells Carl she'll run away with him after all. But it's a ruse, as she fully intends to marry Dan, then vanish. Meanwhile, Jimmy has discovered Carl has sold his share of Kings to charity, and the brothers' dispute ends up in a massive brawl. Then there's Declan and Katie. Megan learns of their swindle on the day of the wedding and rushes to the church for a showdown. Debbie's ignorant of how her cousin has betrayed her. She's slightly preoccupied when she goes into labour and Kane and Zach rush her to hospital. Jenny, meanwhile, has a sudden pain as she carries out her bridesmaid's duties. She's gone into labour as well. It's all kicking off in England's least sleepy village, but that's nothing compared to when the body of a beloved resident is discovered and police descend in force.